Hello, welcome to History and Art Secrets for a new journey in search of knowledge. St. George, Cappadocia, 275 to 285 Nicomedia, the 23rd of April 303, was a Roman soldier, Christian martyr, venerated as a megalomartyr saint by all Christian churches. He died before Constantine, probably under the walls of Nicomedia in 303. His cult is widespread and very ancient, dating back to the 4th century. The main information comes from the Passio Sancti Georgii, which however the Decretum Gelasianum of 496 classified among the apocryphal works. According to this source, George was originally from Cappadocia in Turkey, son of Gerontius, Persian, and Polychromia, Cappadocian. He was born around the year 280 and his parents educated him in the Christian religion. Having moved to Palestine, he enlisted in the army of the Emperor Diocletian, behaving as a brave soldier. He was part of Diocletian's bodyguard, becoming an officer of the militia. His martyrdom would have occurred under Diocletian, who would have summoned 72 kings to decide what measures to take against the Christians. George donated all his possessions to the poor and, in front of the court, confessed himself a Christian. At the emperor's invitation to sacrifice to the gods, he refused. He was beaten, suspended, torn and thrown into prison, where he had a vision of God who predicted 6 years of torment, 3 times death and 3 times resurrection. Cut in two with a wheel full of nails and swords, George resurrected, operating the conversion of the Magister Militum Anatolius with all his soldiers, who were killed by the sword. He entered a pagan temple and with a breath knocked down the stone idols, converted the Empress Alexandra, who was later martyred. At the request of King Tranquillinus, George resurrected 2 people who had been dead for 460 years, baptized them and made them disappear. Emperor Diocletian condemned him to death again and the saint, before being beheaded, implored God that the emperor and the 72 kings be incinerated. After his prayer, he allowed himself to be beheaded, promising protection to anyone who would honor his relics, which are now preserved in a crypt under the Greek Orthodox Christian Church in Lydda, Israel. The legend of St. George and the Dragon. It is said that in a city called Cylena, in Libya, there was a large pond, so large that it could hide a dragon, which, approaching the city, killed with fire all the people it met. The inhabitants offered him 2 sheep a day to appease him. But when these began to run out, they were forced to offer him a sheep and a young man drawn by lot. One day the young daughter of the king was drawn, and the terrified king offered his wealth and half of his kingdom to save her life. But the population rebelled after seeing so many of his children die. After 8 days of trying, the king finally had to give in and the young girl headed towards the lake to be offered to the dragon. At that moment the knight George passed by. Having learned of the sacrifice, he reassured the princess, promising his intervention to avoid her brutal death. He told the princess not to be afraid, that he would help her in the name of Christ. When the dragon approached, George mounted his horse and, protecting himself with the cross and recommending himself to the Lord, boldly faced the dragon, seriously wounding it with his lance. The inhabitants were terrified at the sight of the dragon, but George reassured them, saying, "God sent me to you to free you from the dragon. If you embrace faith in Christ and receive baptism, I will kill the monster." Then the king and the people converted, and the knight killed the dragon and had it dragged out of the city by oxen. If you liked this video, please like it, share it on your social media, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Hello.